Rounding off our segment with the legacy in color, we are to the end, and we have had a good time talking about colors, personalities, music, B-sides, early eras. But now we get into the legacy of it all. Where are they now? What they're doing? How everything is rounding off for them, if it is, because shit, they may still be going, and we very know what SHINee that they are, because SHINee is currently getting ready to have
Preparing.
their SHINee's back moment. Yes, they
I'm so
are prepping.
excited. Oh my God.
Girl, me getting into SHINee right as they're getting ready to have, come on, right as they're getting ready to have a comeback, and I didn't even plan for that. I was
The
already gonna
comeback is
listen because
literally
it's
around the
SHINee.
corner. Around the corner.
Oh, June.
I think it's
What is
June.
it?
Yes,
June
June.
1st. June 1st.
Ah,
June
the
1st, the
countdown is
Atmos
real.
album comes out. It's real.
The
June
the
1st, the
countdown
Atmos
is
album
real.
comes out. It is 6 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Key has returned after a 6 month hiatus. Welcome back, Key. Bookie
Welcome
Butt.
back.
And I read in an article that this album is going to be the most SHINee like music yet. It is going to be more refined and true to their distinctive color, which is so
Ooh.
interesting because there was a shift, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with Hyun's passing, and then they did the Story of Light trilogy. In my opinion, the Story of Light trilogy is my favorite package of body of work of theirs,
Mm-hmm.
because they stayed so true to SHINee's sound, just in an elevated version, I feel like, during the Story of Light trilogy, um,
Okay.
with all their songs. Because the point of the Story of Light trilogy was the first album reflected um, how the public saw them. The second one was how they saw themselves, and then the last one was an alternative view. So it was SHINee in its finest, but just different perspectives of SHINee. Um,
Right.
and then they did, Jonghyun has passed. They are now, experimenting with sounds. They had the Hard album, and if I'm not mistaken, the Hard album was 2023. Yes, it was 2023 Hard, and that was a shift in sound for them as well. They were, taking some more experimental turns. It was a little rougher, a little edgier. They were, seeing what else SHINee could be made of, because now there's four
Mm-hmm.
of them. Um, but then now to be going back to SHINee's original color as four is gonna be interesting as hell. And they've had such beautiful solo careers apart from each other that, and I don't say that to skip over the poet artist comeback,
Mm-hmm.
but the poet artist comeback was only like 2 songs. I think it was
Yeah.
Starlight and Poet Artist, because that was a finishing of Jonghyun's work, because his album was going to be called Poet Artist, or he had a song called Poet Artist, something like that, and they used his vocals and backtracks in the Poet Artist song when they did their comeback in 2025 with the Poet Artist comeback. But that was just, Poet Artist and Starlight. This is 6 tracks, a bigger body of work, and this is going back to their sound. They're distinct because the most SHINee like album since Hard is what I'm getting from this. So I'm excited for that, especially because I've now heard what SHINee sounded like
Yeah.
in all of its different colorful forms. So which era of SHINee
Are
is
we
this
going
going
back
to
to?
look? Come on, come
Where are we
on.
going, boys?
Where are we going,
Oh,
guys? Where are we going? So I'm so excited for that. Oh, I'm so excited. Um,
you screaming.
are you okay? You need some water. I
My
can't help but
God.
scream. I scream when I get excited. Um,
Oh gosh.
I would love to highlight one thing about their legacy that kind of takes it back a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
we talked a lot about their music, but another huge part of SHINee's legacy and story is they were supposed to be trendsetters in dance and in fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw all of that. And I had the thought, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? Why were they trendsetters in dance, music, and fashion. Like, I know that they're great, but why were they trendsetters? Not just, oh, they kept moving with the tide. I guess in a bigger format because y'all weren't the only group in second gen. There were
Right.
other groups in second gen. So what is it that truly set y'all apart to the point where they looked at y'all and y'all became the princes of K-pop above
Mm-hmm.
everybody else? What was it about y'all? And so I was like, off face value, I'm going to take a look at some of their peers. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to look at the difference in their peers and them and see what made them stand out amongst the crowd. So I wrote down some of their peers: Shinhwa, TVXQ, Big Bang, SES, HOT, SNSD, and Super Junior. Those were their peers. And those are girl groups and guy groups of that time.
Okay.
And so I just typed all their names into Google and I looked at images because I'm like looking at them face value, not their work, looking at them face value, what makes SHINee different from them. And I looked at all these groups, guys and girls, and then I looked at SHINee last.
Mm-hmm.
Bright,
Mm-hmm.
colorful, laid back, flexible, not only in sound but in image. We've raved about
Yeah.
TVXQ and how when it
Right.
comes to being vocal performers, they are the blueprint in a lot of ways because the way
Mm-hmm.
they were able to feed off of each other in a seamless, harmonious way, and they were all beautiful, big vocalists, masterclass in performance and in track. But they all have this very mature, adult, refined, dark look about them. And I don't mean dark, but I mean like they wearing suits. They're a little bit more mature, a little bit more refined, a little bit more distinct, kind of honed in. You look at SHINee just off face value and it's bright, it's colorful. The clothes that they're wearing are a lot more laid back and flexible. It's very true to individual styling. And I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
at no point did none of these groups ever cater to their individual styling, but SHINee did it in a way that was youthful, bright, and colorful. And as moving along with the trends, I can see where that then became trend setting because I even was looking at some of their styling. And at this point, while everybody else is in suit and ties, they wearing skinny jeans, bright colors, patterns, and high tops.
Right.
Like, and before you knew it, Bam Bam was wearing skinny jeans and high tops and bright colors. Just picking on Bambi. But that became then the trend
Yeah.
is let's you could be a little bit more lax and relax and still be great performance. I was watching was it Dream I think it was Dream Girl, the Dream Girl performance.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at them and I said, I know damn well y'all ain't on these people's stage and all y'all got on a different pattern, a different color. One of y'all got on a camo suit. I think it was tape. Then you got somebody with a baby blue neon baby blue type jacket and some dark pants. Damn, uh, Joan Young got on a full plaid suit and a shirt that don't match. I was like, who cleared this? Who cleared this?
Maybe we said this is all we got clean. Let's go.
My mama
'Cause-
would have sent me back in the house if I had on mismatched clothes like that. You're not gonna go out there making me look bad, but it worked. It was
Mhm.
fun. It was vibrant, and it became a staple for them. They weren't afraid to wear what the hell was just happening. Whether it was a
Yeah.
pattern, a print, a the military uniform. Because I was watching some video. I can't remember which one it was, but in that one they had military uniforms on, and I was like, oh, is that a thing? They were known for that. They would put on like the little military uniforms and
Mhm.
perform and stuff like that. But that became trend setting. Whether but and also they were following the trends. So whatever
Mhm.
was happening, they were also adopting but twisting it to fit them. They never stepped outside of themselves. They just invited other elements in. And I love that because then they became staples. Um,
Yeah.
and also, I'd like to highlight some of their accolades before we get into the future of it all, because this is their legacy. SHINee's Replay was the first K-pop dance practice video posted.
Thank you
What is
guys.
now a norm? What is now a norm? They were the first ones to post it. Then it was the Lucifer music video, or no, the Lucifer dance performance, dance practice. Sorry, words are hard. The Lucifer dance practice video was the actual shift in K-pop that then created the norm of posting it. But even down to replay, that was the first dance practice video posted.
Thank you, guys.
That then became such a staple. Everyone does that. And it's something that fandoms and fans actually truly treasure. Watching the practice of it, watching the imperfections, watching you guys in your most normalized state, practicing your dances and stuff. And it was so funny because when I was watching, because I went and watched the Lucifer dance practice video because I'd never seen it. I
Hmm.
sat up there, I said, damn, he really did cut his hair, huh? I said, he really let the people take a razor to the side of his head and shave his head. I get that was the trend, but King, we committed to the bit a little too close to the sun. Where is your hair? But it was just super cool to watch and know that. So then, talking about their legacy, there was something I wanted to mention about their legacy before we talk about anything else.
Hmm.
So I was reading an article that came out, that Billboard put out in 2018 after the Story of Light album was coming out, and this is after Jonghyun's passing. And there were two quotes out of the article that really stuck out to me. One was Key's quote, where he says, "When you think of SHINee, you think of light and colors. I feel that light has lightness and darkness together. So rather
Hmm.
than letting others define what that light is, we want to define what that light represents. Since we're SHINee, we want to shine our way through."
Oh, that's beautiful.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it made me think of their name because their
Hmm.
name shining means one who receives light. At this point, kids like we have light and we've received it. We've got to shine our way through now. We're gonna work
Hmm.
our way through this. And that is a layered statement.
Yeah.
Jonghyun had just passed. They are now four, and they're now having to now record music without not only a brother but a key element of their group.
Of their sound.
So
Oh.
we're gonna shine through this in more ways than one. Um, so I thought that was beautiful. And then the second quote came from Onu, and
Okay.
it was in terms of them because also that was their 10-year anniversary. So Chonghyun died before time for their 10-year anniversary. And they asked something about the 10, or they highlighted something in Billboard article about their 10 years, and Onu says it's not that we decided to stay together 10 years. We did not promise each other let's stay together 10 years. It just came about naturally as we worked together. Since we've put a lot of effort into it too, that's how we've been able to come this far. I love that he said that because in the current state of K-pop, we are as a fandom and as fans so invested in the longevity of how long are we going to be able to get this group? How long are we going
Hmm.
to be able to keep them? And sometimes we weigh that into how we think they view each other. If they're a brotherhood, they're going to stay together forever. If they really love each other the way they present themselves to the world that they do, they're going to stay together forever. If they really care about each other, we're going to get them forever. That may not always be the case. And so then when there are shifts and rifts in the group, people go solo, people leave, people do other things, um, or people decide that they're going to go be actors or actresses or however, whatever. It then hits harder because it's like, oh, did you even really love each other? Were you really a brotherhood? Or were you really a sisterhood? Were you guys really a family like you portrayed? Or was that all a lie? And two things can be true at the same time. You
Hmm.
can be a brotherhood, sisterhood, a family, and still want to do things for yourself outside of that. But I love Onu's quote. We never sat down and promised each other anything. We
Just
just
happened
kept going
organically.
because it just happened organically. There was no promise, not between each other, and we never truly said that to the world in anything we did. And I look at SHINee as a group, and even though I can tell they love each other, at no point am I so invested in the brotherhood between them that to me it ever translated over to this is supposed to be forever.
Yeah.
Nothing in that. They all have successful solo careers. They're all doing their own things. They all have their own ambitions, hobbies, and things outside of the group. Not saying that I want them to break up in any means, but I don't have that expectation of them. But for only to say we never even set that for ourselves. And he said this
Right.
back in 2018. We just are staying together as long as we'll let each other. That's beautiful.
Very much.
Absolutely beautiful. It's honest, it's raw, and it's real, and it gives such a more organic view into these groups that we pour so much of our energy and love and heart into as fans.
I know we always ask like, because you covered a lot, so I'm not gonna go over that again. But like, what we want to see from them, what our
Mhm.
hopes and wishes are for them. What I want from SHINee is bigger than the charts. Bigger than trying to prove themselves because honestly, they've already done it. Performance, vocally, artistry, influence. They checked all the boxes. Um, what I want most is softness. I want them to be able to
Mm,
come back into this comeback and just have a soft place to pursue their arts without any pressure, without constantly have to like explain themselves, without fighting against the noise of the industry, without people treating them weird, and just remembering that they're just performers. Like don't put them against anybody. I feel like the best artists are trying to one up themselves, and in the current climate of K-pop, it's always, well, they didn't do this and this group did that. Just allow them to enjoy their comeback and their success and their work. Because everything, every accolade that they probably wanted to hit and ones they never imagined, they've done it. Sometimes it's not about the rewards of men.
mm,
Sometimes it's about what the history books say. And I feel like, because we've talked about how they have influenced generations
mm.
of K-pop idols, and I just want them to be able to just enjoy their comeback without the noise.
Is there anything other than that maybe in the comeback you're looking forward to? Because we did mention that this is going back. Is there an era, mind you? Let me
I
ask that question.
want
Is there an
them to
era you want them to touch on?
no. I just want them to sing the girls' panties off.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, that sounds
I
like
need the whole crew to be on some guilty taming type vibe.
excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't think so. I
I
don't think I could
I
do
I
that.
I just just a pinch of it. Everybody don't got to be on the same time because, like we said, taming is a menace to society.
Hmm.
But just a little sprinkle. And I know that's probably not as shiny, but those are my hopes and dreams. That's what I would dream about in a shiny comeback. Especially because they're so mature and they're older gentlemen and they've lived life. Um, mm, that would be so nice. Realistically though, um, let's take it back to the Genesis. Let's take it back to the original. Let's go back to replay. Let's go back to just brightness, fun. Another project that will be played in 20 years,
Yeah.
but also sexy.
So to feed into what you're saying, I remembered that I had seen a post on
Mm,
Instagram where they released a sneak peek of what the track list could possibly sound like, look like. So there was
mhm,
a photo that I saw, and looks like one of those signs you would see in a nature trail, or like at a what are those things called, national park. You know how they have
mhm,
like the little signs. So I don't know if you saw the trailer for Atmos, but in the trailer the theme was weather, where Key plays the newsman in the newsroom, and he goes off to do the weather. And while he's
Mm-hmm.
doing the weather, Onu comes up and he's telling us, "God, man, it's so hot out here. It's so hot. Shiny's back. It's so hot." And the time as Shiny's coming, oh my God, he's talking about how hot it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then
they're not gonna have on clothes.
hold on. So then he's like, "Okay, that was weird." But back to you in the studio. And as he's in the studio, then giving his little tidbit, here comes Taman little ass. Shiny's back in the comeback. It's on June 1st. The June back is on, and he's just like being so loud. So loud and interrupting. And so like they come and drag him off. And Key's got like that Key look on his face, like, you know the look.
Yeah.
And so it's going so well. Then it cuts to Minnow, and he's also doing the news and all this other stuff. But in this photo, and I'm gonna attach the photo to this episode, because this will air before the album comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sign and it says Weather Rock, a mystical stone that tells the weather. Then it's got one, if the rock is heated, Taman. Two, if the rock is misty, Minnow. Three, if the rock is swinging, Onu. Four, if the rock is darkened, Key. Five, if the rock is wet, SHINee. June 1st, 2026 release, SHINee, the sixth mini album Atmos, and then it says SHINee, and then it says Weather underneath.
If the rock is wet, shiny. Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said, what it said.
Hmm.
If the rock is heated, Tape. If the rock is misty, Minnow. If the
Hmm.
rock is swinging, oh no. If the rock is darkened, T. And if the rock is wet, Shoin. I don't know what the hell none of that's supposed to mean, but
Heated, wet, misty,
swinging and darkened.
swinging, and dark.
Now, mind you, all of that is befitting to each one of them. I was like, oh, that's befitting. It fits
Yeah.
each one of them. But in what way is in what way? In what
Hmm.
way? Also, does this mean that these are all solo songs and Shiny's only getting one
One
collaborated
so
song?
yeah, like
Correct.
what are we doing,
Correct.
boys?
Correct. Because
Hmm.
mind you, I assume with the Atmos album or Atmos, however it's correctly pronounced, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. I assumed with this album we were getting six full Shiny tracks. But then when I saw this photo come out as, a part of the advertising and promoting for the new
Hmm.
album, the single names and then Shiny, I say this playfully, don't piss me off. I say this playfully, don't piss me off. Because Taman bringing a heated track by his damn
Misty,
self, don't do that to me.
misty, darkened.
Minnow with a Misty album? Oh no, it's swinging. Swinging where?
What exactly? Like,
Are we? Is this gonna be a swing jazz two step with it, or are you trying to swing somebody from chandeliers? Which swinging are we doing?
preferably the chandelier or curtain rod, shower rod. I because so his was the only one that did not remind me of the sex. So everybody else, and I have a problem with wanting people to put out sex music to add to the sex playlist. I have a that is one of my faults in life. And his was the only one I was like, I don't understand. But when you said that, it makes sense. Swinging from the chandelier.
I don't know.
You
I
know
don't
what?
know. I don't know. And
June
then
first.
Minnow is like misty, like it's misty in here. Like, are we getting Titanic with it, or is this misty as in you gonna leave me crying?
Yeah, like crying as in you broke my heart, or crying because the sex is so good. It all leads to sex to me.
And then Keys darkened. I so see that. I see that. But is this gonna be dark and spicy or dark and deadly?
No,
Like, are
spicy.
you?
Definitely
Oh,
spicy.
but
This is a
or is
sex.
this gonna be dark, like, um, just in imagery,
We get
or
them.
is it? Tasha, I will throw this notebook at you. I will throw
Everything,
this notebook at you.
everything leads back. And you know what?
Mind you, I done touched on everything except if the rock is wet, shiny. I don't want to touch that. No, thank you.
All the
No,
things
thank
you want
you.
to know what just started playing in my head?
No.
I'm gonna say it out loud anyway. Yin Yang Twins. It's leaking. It's soaking wet. Shake it like a salt shaker. That's
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mind you, they're going back to their most colorful, shiny moments.
It
So it's
doesn't matter
like,
what they said. I don't care. My thoughts are my thoughts. And I will force a
okay,
sex playlist on any artist, especially
you
if they
will.
are of age.
You will. You will. Correct. I can't be mad at you for that. Um, I am hoping though that we definitely, and not hoping, I know we're going to. So I won't say hoping. I'm looking forward to some absolutely incredible choreography.
They just, oh,
I am looking forward to some incredible choreography because and music videos. Oh my
hmm
God, please. I want some colorful music. And I'll say this to Shiny's credit. Their their colorful music videos are some of my favorites. Actually, scratch that. They are my favorites because their use of color in their music videos is so artistically incredible. It feels like walking through one of those immersive exhibits.
and I
Everything
know
has come to life. It's beautiful.
I've been complaining about people and idols and groups and companies moving on too fast, but
Hmm.
give me 6 videos. Give me six.
Oh God, I need six.
Give me
I
six
need
videos.
six videos, please. I need one for every single one. And honestly, I'm gonna say this for Shiny, take up space.
hmm
The rest
I
of
want
them,
y'all
I'll get to
everywhere.
them when they get back. I want them everywhere. Take up space. Be everywhere. Every time you turn around, oh, a new music video just dropped, a new performance video just dropped. If y'all want to, I don't want to overwork y'all, but if you wanna do, yeah, man. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. And that wraps up our segment. I have enjoyed going through Shiny. Like, oh my
Me
God, like
too. Such a
I'm
good
so grateful
time.
that we still get them. That's another thing
hmm
I'll say. The fact that they're still active in K-pop and they're not done yet, and we still get them as a fandom. Fans that respect the music but may not be completely in the fandom still get them, and K-pop industry as a whole. I know y'all know it, but y'all lucky as hell to still have Shiny.
hmm
Lucky as hell. Um,
hmm
so that wraps us up. Once again, thank you, Sekis. Thank you, everybody, so much for sitting with us as we
Thank
prism viewed
you.
into Shiny. Once again, I am your co-host, Trend.
And I'm Kasha. Thank y'all so much.
Awesome. And this has been a prism view into Shiny because no group is one dimensional and every group growth deserves context. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.